I'm Burley Mullins, and welcome to Method to the Meadness. Now, before I begin, I just want to apologize for the amount of time that it's been between videos. I do have more content coming soon. I was a little under the weather. It was not COVID, and the holidays were a bit hectic for me. I do have more things coming up. I bought some ingredients today, and so we should see some things coming up soon. Now, as you saw from the title of this video and the title card that no doubt played just before right now, I'm going to be looking at a cheap mead and an expensive mead. Well, I guess less expensive versus expensive, more expensive mead. To see, one, if I can spot which is which, and two, what I'll be looking for in these meads. These are both Cysers, which is apple mead, although one has hops in it as well. So, shall we go ahead and get started? I'm just going to start with the smell. This one smells strong and sweet on the nose. And as you can see, this one's cloudier, which means they didn't filter out the yeast. Now that either tells us that the yeast has a pleasing impact on the mead, which many yeasts do. You can use a neutral yeast, or you can use one that imparts its own flavors, or that they just did not filter it. Let's try mead number 2. Just smelling for now. The honey aroma is much less strong on this one, although this does have, this one's fairly alcohol forward, and you can smell the apple much more clearly on this one. It could be that they're trying to disguise a cheaper or more neutral honey varietal, but that remains to be seen. I'm gonna go back to number 1 for a smell and a taste. We'll see what we can see. This one's quite sweet. The hops, I believe this is the hopped one. The price isn't on this tag, it just has the, yes, this is the hops. 19%. This is the hopped variety, and it's necessary. The sweetness would be overwhelming without a bit of bite from the hops. Now, the alcohol percentage does actually tell us a bit about the amount of raw material used. Honey is a very expensive fermentable sugar, and the rest of it was not made by apples in this one. And hops are also a relatively expensive ingredient to use, especially if they're wet hopped instead of dry hopped, which is when they actually take the actual buds of the hops instead of the little pellets that you find in a lot of homebrew stores and a lot of brewers use. I'm gonna go in for another taste. A little apprehensive, just because it is way more sweet than I typically go for in my meads. It is quite good, don't get me wrong. citrus would be a lot stronger, but the honey does add a warmth and a depth to that, so it's not quite as sharp as you would find in a beer. Just give me a minute to reset. It clings to the inside of the mouth, which sweet meads in particular are wont to do. The sugar content is very dense. It does fill the entire mouth. Alright, let's try mead number 2. It's just as sweet. It's a little thinner in the body. I think this one might have a lower alcohol percentage. I'm gonna go ahead and check. Yeah, not by much. This is 14%, which is a little bit more typical of what I think I would find in a mead. These are not far from each other in terms of quality, although the apple is much stronger in this mead. It is, I would say, almost more prominent of a flavor than the honey, which is not bad, but the honey should be the star of the show. It's the most expensive ingredient in a mead, and it should show a lot of local flavor. Typically you should use a local honey or of a single variety when you're making your meads, but that's my opinion. That's the wonderful thing, we can all have our own opinions. This one is very refreshing as a mead. It's not so rich that you can't have a whole glass of this one. Where this one, I would struggle with even the amount poured, I think. It would be, this one I would have as a digestif after a meal, I think, in a small glass such as this. And this one I would probably sip on and enjoy on its own without having, or as part of a meal rather than afterwards. I think from what I've seen here, I think this is the more expensive of the two, given it's much more honey forward, it's a higher alcohol percentage, which you can taste, and the use of hops, which are a fairly expensive ingredient. I'm gonna go ahead and reveal the price to you. This is 4 cents a milliliter, or $25.99 for the entire bottle. And this one is 6 cents a milliliter, or $26.99 for a 500 milliliter bottle. Yes. So this is a fairly well-known brand. They can produce in large quantities, and I think that might be why they were able to get it priced as relatively reasonably as far as meads go, as they have. And this one comes in a smaller bottle, and I believe comes from a smaller meadery. This one's coming from Denmark. It's able to get its distribution fairly wide. And so I was wrong. Thank you for watching Method of the Meadness. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment telling me what sort of content you'd like to see, and if you have a pop culture mead you'd like to see me recreate. If you have any comments about these meads in particular, if you've had them before, go ahead and feel free to discuss below. I'm Burley Mullins. Thank you very much. Okay. This one is much lighter. This part right here is going after the video. I hope you know that. This whole section right now is going after the video. He's thirsty.